If you're an artist, have you ever thought about creating your own calendar? I'm going to show you today the first calendar that I made for a woman and a bear. It's called Jump for Joy, 13 Reasons to be Happy in 2026. And this is in my characteristic snarky vibe, but it was a fun experiment. I eventually would like to produce calendars to sell. This was a sample that I ordered. I used Gelato. It's a print-on-demand company, and you may be familiar. There's so many print-on-demand companies now. But it was an interesting experiment. I was very pleased with the quality of the product, and I had it on a good reference from another artist who uses actually Gelato a lot. So anyway, let's talk about it, and then at the end, after I show you the calendar, I'll show you or tell you what I know about comparing Gelato and Printful. Printful is another company that I used with the previous business and did a lot of print-on-demand integration with them. So they're both good companies, but calendars, I have never ordered one from Printful, so I don't have that to compare, but I can compare the online information about their calendars. So anyway, mine calendar is called Jump for Joy. It's all about the small victories that make us happy in ways that are way out of proportion to what actually happened. For instance, the cover image is all about a dress having pockets. And then this is their 8.5 by 11 size. And the way they print it is it's back and front. So like this is January. I have a new planner. February is I found a pair of shoes I forgot I had. And by the way, these pages on Gelato, you can use the format that they provide, which I think is like it's got a different style of the actual calendar printed out, but you can erase all of that and just make it whatever format you want. I wanted a little area for notes and then just, a small actual calendar here. Let's see, March. I said no without explaining shit. Honestly, I think that may be my favorite one. It's taken me a lifetime to get that right. April is I found a comfortable bra. I created these digitally. I did the figures in Procreate, and then I put them together. Actually, the figures and the backgrounds, and then I usually compose things in Photoshop. So that's the platform I'm the most comfortable with. But I think, there's so many now, and having used Photoshop for so long, like I don't use Canva, and I know a lot of people do. Or I don't know, there's just so many. You can do a lot of this in Procreate. Let's see, where did I leave off? April. May, I have the house to myself. That one's a big one. I love having the house to myself. June, I found a swimsuit that doesn't suck. Oh, God. Let's see, July. My favorite show just dropped a new episode. That's true every month of the year. August, my luggage came down the ramp first. Never had that happen. Last, yes, but never first. That would be cause for joy for sure. Let's see, August, September. I have no plans for the weekend. That may be an age-related thing because I gotta, when you're young, you just love to you gotta have something lined up for the Friday evening, for the weekend. But I don't know when it hit me, but to have a free weekend with absolutely zero on the calendar, you know. October, it's a good hair day. That's always true. Rarer these days. November, I solved Wordle in 2 guesses. And December, my order is out for delivery. So that's the calendar. I think it's fun. It's meant to bring a smile to your face every time you turn it to a new month. The one thing I will say about Gelato, they wouldn't let you put anything on the back. You know how most of the time when you buy a calendar, you see little thumbnails of every month, and then of course you'd have your website or wherever you want to send people to get it, and you couldn't do that here. So what I decided to do was I made a sticker, and I'll show it to you coming up when I switch to my desktop. But I made a sticker with my logo, my website, little tagline, and I think that'll be a good way to, stick it on here and make it look nice so that people know where to find me. Oh, another change I did make, I actually, on about half of the images, I put my website. Like, I would put it here. It's very faint, but that's something I overlooked when I did the first draft. That's why you order a sample. You don't want to be surprised and have it go out to your customer and they don't know, okay, like, how do I find her again? So anyway, that's the calendar, and it's got a good weight to it too. I like it. I like this size. So let's go to the desktop and I'll show you a little bit more about the production process. Here we are on the Gelato site, and you can see they have several different types of calendars. They divide it up into which part of the world you live in, or ordering from maybe, or what's available for you to order, like in the US and Canada. So I'll click on that. And here you can see their sizes. They do several different vertical sizes. This is the one I chose, letter size. And so they're saying that they're $6.40, excluding the VAT tax. And then shipping starts at $7.72. Okay. You know what? I need to look back at my invoice and just see how much my sample came to. But then I'll show you here, there's horizontal formats like this. And that one is more expensive for some reason. Then they've got ledger, all these different sizes. I think a lot of people like this large size. And as I said before, you can you can just see all the different formats that you can erase the page and just start with whatever graphics you want. Lay out your calendar any way you want. So now I did that in Photoshop, and I suppose you can do that in Canva or in other platforms as well. So I'm not the authority on that. But let's compare the vertical letter size. Those are the numbers there. And let's compare now with Printful. This is what's interesting to me. This is basically 8.5 by 11, and it's quite a bit more expensive. Now, I haven't really dug into that, to be honest. I think a lot of people order these as one-offs, with their photos for Chris, and they send it out for Christmas
gifts, basically stocking stuffers, that kind of thing. I'm not sure, but these all seem to have kind of the same format. And then I thought, well, maybe this more expensive price includes shipping, but it doesn't. Shipping starts at $8.50. Anyway, be aware of that. You might want to do a little bit deeper dive into that. And I might do that at some point, but I don't think I'll be using Printful for calendars anyway. So that's the comparison there. And then I wanted to show you the sticker. If I can get to it. Here's the sticker this is a 4-inch sticker that I'm going to use to put on the back. It has my website and my tagline, Goods for Choosy Women. That's going to go on my cards and my calendars, things like that. So that's one way to get around. And a lot of sticker companies have specials. They have half price specials or all kinds of sales every day, it seems. So that doesn't really add that much to it, especially if you're carrying your own inventory. Although, if you're carrying your own inventory and you're printing with a printer, you could print the back cover any way you want, which is what I would like to do eventually. So that's that.
A couple other points about this. The color matching that Gelato did was really spot on. I don't have any complaints about the color being off, and that's really not always that easy to find when you have things printed. Something else, I will say that when I first started uploading the images and I wanted to order a sample, it got a little confusing. And I think it was user error. I think the mistake I made was I made it as a template. And I haven't been on the site enough to know, how to use a template and whatever. It was my mistake, but if you go on Gelato and you upload your photos or your drawings, whatever, I would say don't save it as a template. Just save it as a regular product first, and I'll maybe hopefully learn something more about how templates are used. The integration with my website, I have a Squarespace site. The integration was seamless. I think that's pretty much true of all print on demand now. That, I don't know when they started doing that, but maybe 5, 6 years ago, it could be a little tricky. I know Shopify was one of the only sites you could integrate seamlessly, but now it's virtually all of them. I think the big ones, Squarespace, Wix, I don't know, Big Commerce, I don't know what they're all called. Anyway, there's so many, but the one with Squarespace was easy. So something else that you might consider if you are weighing out either ordering them from a standard printer or doing print on demand. Print on demand can seem, easy, great. You don't have to order as well. You're not paying for a bunch of inventory and then having to find a place to put it. But you're also really cutting into your profit margin. So depending on how you want to operate, that's a consideration. Eventually, I will have a printer do these for me, and I will hold the inventory. Because for me, I first of all want to be able to make more off of each product. You got to have cash to keep a business going. And the other thing is, I like to package things myself. I want to add some special touches to it because I like to really kind of pamper my customers. So I want to add little stickers or, thank you note, whatever. And you can't do that with print on demand. I mean, the way that this arrived to me was in a nice box, and there's nothing, it's very, standard, I guess. There was nothing objectionable about it, but it's also not a special unboxing. So that's a consideration for me, and I'll eventually get there. I just kind of want to experiment with a few products and see, find my audience first, and then I'll work on building it up to scale. So that's all for this video. I would love to hear in the comments anyone who's produced your own calendar and had a good or bad experience with a particular company. I think we all can learn from artists sharing their experiences. It's all about the small victories that, God damn it.